The Hunt Wine Company (HWC), located in the beautiful Hunt Valley of New South Wales, was founded by the Smith family in 1990. HWC has a vineyard of 25 hectares comprised of mostly Semillon, Chardonnay, Shiraz, and Cabernet Sauvignon. HWC has expanded its winery through the acquisition of a surrounding vineyard that has resulted in increasing grape varieties and production potential, as well as offering extra wine producing equipment resources, which have dramatically increased its wine production capacity. HWC has been taking part in all Australian wine shows since 2000, winning gold, silver, and bronze medals for all their grape varieties. Also, by enhancing their viticulture and viniculture skills, the quantity and quality of wine have greatly improved, and now on a nationwide scale, it has become a well-known producer of medium to high standard wine. HWC is now interested in expanding its business to Asian markets such as China, South Korea, Thailand, and Vietnam. The company believes middle classes in Asian countries are highly interested in premium and luxury goods and services such as wine. As a result of this growing trend, the wine industry in Australia will continue to benefit from exporting their wine to Asian countries.
Next, we're moving on to the resources, capabilities, and core competencies of Hunter Wine Company. Hunter Wine Company has an impressive profile of assets. Right from the day it was founded, Hunter Wine Company already owns a vast vineyard of 25 hectares, and later on the company proceeded to push for growth and enhance its asset through the acquisition of neighboring vineyards. They also formed a liaison with other grape producers within the Hunter Valley region. Now by doing this, they gain even more physical resources, more vines and more winemaking equipment. Aside from its asset, Hunter Wine Company has also proven its technical capabilities by investing, acquiring, and developing viniculture and viticulture techniques. Now the technology that this company owns is very exclusive and it is very hard, not to mention costly, to replicate, which gives Hunter Wine Company an advantage over other competitors. This technology has also greatly improved the Hunter wine quality from modest to premium wine quality by the year 2000. Also, starting from the year 2000, Hunter Wine Company has participated in numerous wine shows, expos, and competitions, both regional and national, and they have won plenty of awards. These awards help build brand reputation and credibility. And also thanks to these awards, Hunter Wine Company has gained recognition and huge reputation as a producer for medium to premium quality wine. And the company has also scored an exclusive contract with Dan Murphy's, which is, if not one of the largest online wine retailers in Australia, which also gives Hunter Wine Company a very large distribution channel. Now all these awards and all these recognition are really nice, but they can also act as a double-edged sword, because from then the demand will be a lot higher, and some companies actually struggle with this to produce enough to meet the demand. However, as I mentioned before, Hunter Wine Company has a large profile of assets. They have plenty of vines, plenty of vineyards, and plenty of winemaking equipment, which allows them to produce at least 10,000 cases each year for each of the main varieties that they are currently producing: Semillon, Chardonnay, Shiraz, and Cabernet Sauvignon. The brand has never allowed the demand to outstrip the supply. There are also a few more notable competencies of Hunter Wine Company. Hunter Wine Company is based in Hunter Valley, which is the perfect location. It is a wine region. It is a very popular tourist destination which can drive direct sales, and the place has the perfect climate to produce and to grow high quality grape. Hunter Wine Company also currently focuses on the four main wine variety that are very popular and can be considered as Australian classic, which can further drive the demand for hunter wine. However, this also means that the company has a limited range of products and that there are existing gaps, meaning their competitors can enter the market and grow by producing the types of wine that Hunter Wine Company isn't currently focusing on. Overall, we can draw to a conclusion that Hunter Wine's company core competencies lies in its great production capacity and quality, big reputation and large distribution channel. We can all agree that Hunter Wine Company is a very strong domestic player and is ready to take on the international market. In our next part, we will focus on the sustainable advantages that Hunter Wine Corporate has against its competitors.
For this part, I'm going to talk about competitive advantage of Hunter Valley Company. One of the main advantages that HWC has over its competitors is the facility and technology that is not easy to imitate. As you know, the initial vintage were lacking in both quality and quantity. However, an effort to improve both viticulture and viniculture technique paid off and saw a marked improvement in both the yield and quality of grape production. HWC has also incorporated high quality grape production from other producers, which have raised the winery's production quality and capacity. Subsequently, over the time, the HWC has built a distribution channel and a good reputation by winning a lot of awards on wine competition, which brings them an advantage by giving reliable proof for their quality. This can have a positive impact, particularly in the international market, where consumers often determine quality by looking at the label. So now let's move on to the next, that is sustainability of Hunter Valley Company. Regarding sustainability, HWC can engage in different practices in order to become a more sustainable operator. And there is the best sustainability program developed by Australian wine growers aimed for improving the sustainability of wineries in 7 different dimensions. These are soil health, nutrition and fertilizer, pest and disease, biodiversity, water waste management, as well as social relation and economic sustainability. The program provides information and practice approaches on how to improve in these dimensions. This practice could lead to increase in sustainability and improve efficiency, brand reputation, and the quality of wines for the Hunter Valley Wine Company.
The external environment of Hunter Wine Company will be analyzed based on the Chinese market because this is a very potential market. I'm going to talk about its competitor first. The biggest competitor for HWC are Chinese local wine brand. People purchase local product because of its popularity, familiarities, and because they want to support the local businesses. Furthermore, the local wines also much more to the tasting preference of the Chinese consumer. On the other hand, France is the largest source of wine imported to China, following by Australia, Chile, and Italy. There are the wine producing company from these countries of both, also the competitor for HWC. Lastly, Hunter Wine Company also has to compete with other brands in Australia. As you can see from the screen, there are some very famous wine brands in China, which come from China, Australia, France, and Chile. About the political factors, the Communist Party and the government regulation are primary elements. Therefore, it requires that product advertising and marketing strategy needs to follow the rules strictly and are not against to the Communist Party. For the economic, China charged tariff for most of the imported products, the country applied three different types of taxes on the imported alcohols, which are import custom duty, value-added tax, and excise tax. The total amount taxed for the imported alcohol reached up to 48%, which is quite high. However, the tax rate is different for different countries, especially Australia and China has signed a China-Australian Free Trade Agreement in 2015, which eliminated the tariff for Australian imported alcohol by January 2019. This created a huge chance for Australia to become biggest wine importer in China, as well as a big opportunity for Hunter Wine Company to expand their product in Chinese market. Due to the growth of the Chinese economy, the Chinese middle class has expanded rapidly. The number of the middle class in China would reach up to 700 million people by 2020 and accounts 48% of the total population. The rising of the middle class created a boost for the luxury goods spending. China seems like one of the world's largest markets for premium wine consuming. Especially since middle to high income class people are willing to pay higher for better quality of wine. Let's talk about the technological. There are about 800 million Chinese using internet, which account 57% of the total population. This is no doubt that China is the world's largest social media market. This means the middle class people are highly engaged with the social media and they are using it for connecting with other people, asking for product recommendation as well as shopping. And just you can see from the screen, there are top 3 social media marketing in China, which are WeChat, Weibo, and QQ.
I'm Anthony, and let's move on to the discussion of the relevant economic drivers for HWC. Currently, Australia wine exportation in Asian market is driven by 3 main places: China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, accounted for 80%, and study shows a constant increase with a perception of those places importing higher quality wines than quantity. For our company, we will be targeting on mainly China and Hong Kong since they have a relatively similar customer patterns. To successfully dive into a new market, we have to understand the customer behavior, especially Asian countries, as it is a new emerging market, which they have a relatively different culture on consuming wines. From both of the countries, Hong Kong and China, people who buy the wines are often the middle income or upscale business people. And they do not drink wines regularly like the Australians do. They purchase wine as a gift on business meeting and celebration for the business people. Moreover, for the upscale market, they pursue consuming wines as a high social status image, which is more like flaunting wealth to their friends. Consuming dry reds accounted for nearly 80% for the population studied. The company has to also be aware of the distribution on the location in China, since most of the people consuming wines are in the first tier or second tier provinces. For example, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Beijing. Hong Kong is also relatively an interesting business area with a small land, but is one of the most popular trading country amongst the Asian countries due to the low or even zero taxation. So Hong Kong is one of the busiest international trading country where a lot of businesses are happening within a small land. It also contains more diverse culture and international representatives, which has a wider knowledge on wines. From this analysis, the company will be able to develop a market strategy to enter Hong Kong and China mainly with in-depth understanding on the entry barriers and trade agreement with different approaches taken. So let's move on to the strategies. The company will be using 2 different strategies for China and Hong Kong correspondingly. So first, let's talk about the biggest Asian market, China. The company will be using focused differentiation strategy to narrow it down on the competitive scope and providing HWC's unique competitive advantage. China is considered a high entry barrier due to the regulations and restrictions on importing wines. All of the wines have to be labeled in Chinese words with tax and administration registered within the Chinese government. To enter the market successfully, the company will be targeting on distributing its wine to first-tier and second-tier provinces coping an image on the product differentiation through our branding and labeling design marketing, specifically the awards company got domestically. This will help generate a premium or high quality image for Chinese customers, hence increasing the brand awareness. Furthermore, HWC should hire a Chinese and Hong Kong ambassador to generate a high brand awareness into the new market. For example, actress named Angela Baby raised in Hong Kong and progressed their career in China with a total 7.8 million Chinese followers. Advertising in luxury magazine is another approach, since study shows 56% of the high-income individuals in Shanghai uses the magazines regularly to receive information about luxury brands. Wine packages is also one of the offer the company can do for gifting, which can result as a great competitive advantage to cater the behaviors on both China and Hong Kong customers. On the other hand, a new statement of the trade agreement between Australia and China stated an elimination of a previous 20% tariff charge to zero, which created a huge benefit for the company to enter this market now. Now let's talk about the Hong Kong segment. The company should have a focused cost leadership strategy and a low entry barrier due to the wider range of target segment and also a broader knowledge on wines, with an exception of a taxation fee and also allowance on the normal labeling design. To generate a wholesale environment just like how it is with the Dan Murphy, Hong Kong has a great potential benefit to generate profit through contracting with wholesale businesses as a primary source. This can generate a stable revenue at the same time generating brand image and awareness. Chinese market should also be considered using this strategy when necessary. This should be used to sustain a competitive advantage once stable in the Chinese market and provide availability for any Chinese businesses on customizing its own brand or label within a bulk purchase of the wines.
The term blue ocean refers to a market that does not exist currently or is unknown with no competitors. The market demand for blue ocean depends on the creation rather than the competition, as there are opportunities to increase profits with rapid growth. To accomplish the blue ocean strategy, HWC suggests utilizing the 4-action framework to reconstruct buyer value elements in crafting a new value curve. For the create part, a new type of wine, which is rosé, should be created by HWC, as it is currently interested and focused on the Asian market. The Asian market is considered as a niche market in terms of rosé wine because no Asian country has featured in the top 10 rosé selling countries around the world. Therefore, HWC should produce rosé wine to target the Asian market. When it comes to China, rosé wine sales are barely registered in China, but the sales are forecast to increase by over 36%. For the raise part, HWC should raise its price as it has exhibited in most of the major wine shows in Australia and won for all 4 grape varieties. As a result, HWC can charge higher prices than other producers because of its superior values. For the reduce and eliminate, HWC can reduce or eliminate the aging process to generate wine products more quickly as well as minimize production costs. The aging process has been considered as an important factor in the wine industry. However, HWC should put more focus on producing fruity sweetness to its target Asian market. HWC's focus on the fruity sweetness will be wise because the Chinese consumer appreciate the sweetness of the wine but do not support the bitterness in wines. For the recommendation, taking advantage of FTAs, Australia's free trade agreements with China, Japan, and South Korea generate a lot of opportunities for wine exporters in Australia, such as HWC. Demand for premium Australian wine has been increased by 17% to $2.1 billion in 2017. FTA enriched trade markets and investment relationship between the Asian countries and Australia in terms of economic benefit for both parties. Especially for FTA with China, it's called CHAFTA. It offers an advantage to Australia in terms of agriculture areas compared to other competitors including United States, Canada, and the European Union. It also around 96% of Australia's goods exports to China are duty-free or preferential access. And for the wine tariffs of 14 to 20% were eliminated. And another recommendation is building relationship for export success with liquor control boards. Liquor control boards are government-run agencies which regulate liquor licensing, importation of alcoholic beverages, and labeling and packaging standards. So HWC is exporting its wine to China, therefore HWC should understand China's process.
Our final recommendation will be how Hunter Wine Company can cope with the current coronavirus outbreak. This unexpected pandemic has affected wine consumption in wine sales and threatening the opportunity for growth. However, it is reported, kind of like a silver lining here, that many companies receives an increase in online sales. So what we suggest is that Hunter Wine Company should focus on digital marketing, trying to maximize these online sales. Create an online campaign filled with motivational messages. For instance, let's get through this difficult time together with Hunter Wine Company. That's just one example, there can be many more. And the brand can also develop a new line of products like alcohol-based sanitizers because currently we're always running out of stock of sanitizers, and the company can also make use of their winemaking equipment. And also by producing what is needed the most right now, they are showing support to the community. Additionally, the company can also work with charitable organizations and donate to fight against coronavirus. These strategies can also be applied to the Asian market. For instance, the brand's ambassador in China can promote Hunter Valley wines on major social media platforms like Weibo or QQ and encourage the citizens to stay strong as well. Ultimately, Hunter Wine Company can still make profit during this difficult time while strengthening the brand's image.